Good morning, everyone. I'm sure it's evening for you guys when you're seeing this video, but I'm out in the garden just before dawn, actually just outside. I'm on the porch. For the first time in ages. I've been working really hard the last few days to try and get up earlier. I'm a night owl, so I stay up way too late most nights. But anyways, wanted to apologize for not doing a garden tour last week. The reason for that is because I just never got out in the garden. We had extreme heat warnings. I had a lot of work stuff to do. And then on top of that, I never got things done. So there was not a lot to show. We had one day last week where there was a really heavy rain. And so that gave me the mental excuse that I didn't need to get out in the garden and water. So I didn't. Regretted that. So finally got out in the garden yesterday because I was just laden with guilt from not being out there. And there was a lot happening. I'll show you in this garden tour. But anyways, it's beautiful right now. Let me show you. The sun's just back behind that tree. You hear the insects? It's just very still. But on a happy note, oh my gosh, look at this red rose. She has really rebounded. I did not get a chance to weed this bed yesterday, but she's going to be next priority. Primarily because I'm thankful everything in here is still alive. Look at this. I mean, have you ever seen a truer red? I mean, ugh, so stunning. I really think the fungicide treatment has helped this plant to thrive. And you can see there's some spots and stuff. I have been doing that weekly. But see this one that we were losing? Look at her. This is almost all new leaves since the last time you saw this plant, which is probably maybe 10 days ago. So that's amazing. Just got all these weeds down in here I need to get. And these are our two newer perennials, which doing good because they're blooming, which makes me happy. I just need to weed around everything. I feel like this right here is a succulent. Not sure. I'll look at that soon. But anyways, I was able to get out in the garden yesterday and get some things done. I think we'll walk around this way as the sun's coming up. Oh, she's trying to come out. Opie. I'm probably going to pull these zinnias because they fall over like this. Get in my husband's way when he's mowing. And you can see we've got some, hi buddy, got some new morning glory seedlings to pull. And just by the time I got over here and noticed these things, I was really out of energy. We had a heat warning again yesterday also, but I'd work 30 minutes and then dip in the pool. And that really makes a world of difference. I'm glad this Pinnacle Hydrangea is doing okay. She definitely has some fungicide, has some fungus, but she was one of the ones I started spraying, is that and both of these roses here. Oh, look at this guy. A lot more open at dawn. These Perennial Hibiscus bloom the biggest first thing in the morning. Oh, it's getting a bug. Getting a bug. Nice. Peach tree is doing so good. Cannot wait to get a harvest next year, and can't wait till all of our other fruit trees are as big as this guy. We bought that tree probably 4 years old last year, but This apple tree that went in later, it's doing really good. It was the latest one to go in this year. And it already looks better than the ones out in the orchard. It wasn't any bigger, so I think it's just happier here. My husband's not worried about the ones in the orchard because he says they're alive and they're growing. But to me, they seem small. This Pinnacle Hydrangea has been really hit with the heat. And so I've been more mindful to make sure and water it, but I think also it's the fungus it has that caused it to drop a lot of the lower leaves. Not sure, so I'm just spraying it, trying to take care of it. This variegated perennial hibiscus has not bloomed a lot. She does have one right now. That's what her bloom looks like. Very vibrant. Here's a close-up look at this evergreen that we almost lost to bagworms. You can see there's still some brown leaves in there, but she's pushed a lot of new growth. So I'm really optimistic. Oh, I see a morning glory that should not be there. I was looking at this from afar. Hi, buddy. And saw this stinker. Where are you coming from? Climbing up. Wow, look how pretty the zebra grass is. Anyway, it's coming up my zebra grass. So this is another area I need to get in here and trim. This is a lemon balm that volunteers here. Oh, I've got like a big old... Is that a grasshopper? I got a cat underfoot. Buddy, please stop. You're gonna trip me. When I was working in the cottage garden yesterday, not only did I find pests and bugs and insects, I also saw, I think they're a praying mantis. That's what it's called. One was light green. The other was, I swear, gray. I haven't looked them up. I forgot all about it, but I need to do that because it's kind of weird looking. And then found a tomato hornworm on the grapevine. Isn't that weird? Just want to show you the pool still looks good. There's Maple. Here is that frosted explosion grass. She's so cute. My husband mowed last night, but there was a heavy dew this morning, so I'm getting it wet grass all over my feet. That's one of my OCD things I really hate. I do not like wet things on my feet. Here's how the banana trees are doing. They've really grown a lot lately, which is nice. Finally getting there. Now this year I'm going to make sure and dig up the pups, the babies, because I know the mother plant will die in our frost. Last year I wasn't sure. I was hopeful they might survive, but they did not overwinter for us. Oh, you remember one of the last tours I showed you our mimosa tree was flowering, and she's got more flowers. I see butterflies on her right now. Let's go see. Oh, and there's a hummingbird up there. Oh, it just flew off. Hi, butterfly. Oh, you are so cute. Oh my gosh. So cool. Anyways, I didn't really ever know that pollinators liked mimosa flowers, but I'm just excited she's finally flowering. We've had her here for like 4 years. Ooh. We're going to be changing up this bed soon whenever I have the time, but I just noticed. First of all, what's up with this? I mean, that looks like a raspberry cane because... Ow! My husband was just asking me the other day if these are prickly. Raspberry. But what got my attention are these. Oh my gosh, you look ready. Should I try it? I should have checked it for bugs. Literally an ant walked out of it as soon as I looked at it. Nature's protein, right? Oh, it's trying to fall apart in my hands. Tart, but I also just brushed my teeth. So yeah, we're going to be reshaping this bed soon. We're going to accept that the blackberry did not survive. Make it more of a square instead of this long rectangle. And then I'm not sure if the blueberry on the left end survived. I mean, it really looks like the raspberry just completely took over. I was telling my husband, when you've got plants that really need a lot of effort and work to survive, and then you've got robust things like this raspberry, these raspberries that just spread themselves, wanting to survive and thrive and take over, just let them. Just let them. So that's what I'm gonna do. I always wanted at least one berry crop on our place, so we have that source. And obviously almost all, pretty sure all berry bushes, vines spread. So you get it going and you'll have a place. And then you'll be like my dad. He has a blackberry patch by a pond. Because most blackberries you find here, they're either like at the edges of woods, near creeks, you know, just kind of harder to get to places. And he had some crop up by a pond in the middle of a field and create this huge patch. And he basically would have to bush hog the edge of it to keep it confined to the shape he wanted, or the size he wanted, because it obviously was continuing to grow all the time. So anyways, that was pretty cool. So yeah, I'm not sure what's up with the little dead patch in the middle. Now the sun's trying to come out all in her glory. But we'll address that when I rework the bed. Make it an easier spot for my husband to mow around, because it kind of gets to be a pain for him. Because right here where it's not mowed right now, mower can't get through there, so he's got to weed eat it. So sometimes it goes undone. So, I'm not sure if the bulbs I put in here are going to do anything. Oh, I say that, and then look, here's, this one is garlic, no, red onion. And we've got new growth here, new growth here. So maybe the bulbs just really need a good chance to get established. These are onions, and there's one there. I don't know if these onions or garlic. I'm seeing both. Looks like the cats have been digging them up, because I see two of the bulbs exposed. This is one thing. This year, my vine is not doing well this year. Like, it got up there and she's just circling instead of coming around. It's kind of weird. I'm not sure if I just missed my opportunity to manage it. But now if I try to, you know, grab any part of it and pull it this way, it is weird. It's like it's all tied up in itself. Like this is a great example. And so I feel like I'd have to get a ladder, cut some stuff. I might do that because I'll still get probably a month or two of blooms out of her. So it'd probably be better to fix it. This is the Morning Glory. This is also not the variety I started by seed. This is what I had last year. So I'm guessing the one I started by seed didn't make it, or I pruned it. There's really no telling. I went through and pruned these flowers yesterday. Deadheaded a few. Left some of these because I wasn't really sure what kind of flowers these were. But now that I'm looking at them, they look like marigolds. But anyways, there was a really lovely zinnia over here I deadheaded. It's kind of like this one. Pink in the center. And I was like, ooh, let me cut you off so you put on some more blooms. Reminds me of that. But anyways, over here the Canna is surviving, which is great. Gives me hope for moving some more over there. And this Rose of Sharon, I guess it's just normal for the white variety to have a few occasional pink blooms, because she just keeps doing that. And I'm happy for her because it took a long time to get this bush to flower. So speaking of flowering, this is the bed where I sowed wildflower shade wildflower seeds. And we do have, you can see germination here and here, but also the cats have been playing in this bed, so you can see the soil is messed up here, whatever. So we're not going to have nice pretty rows, but I don't care. I seeded really heavy anyway, so a lot of them will have to be thinned. Ooh, wow, look at the other side of that Rose of Sharon. Look at her. So lovely. Pretty. Anyway. Oh, see? Gotcha. Gotcha. I'm not going to stress over it. Cats got their new collars. I don't know if you guys ever noticed, but their tracker tags were just on them with cable ties because they were too little bitty for their collars. So finally got that on there. Got those on them yesterday. Anyways, there's some wildflowers in this bed too. Which will be great. And then over here, this is my pink yarrow. So she is going to thrive next year. I'm so excited. This is a plant I moved here. She's rebounding, which is great. I think I have the tag there. Berry Sparkler, Angelonia. Yeah, that's what this guy right here is, recovering. This one is Blackcurrant Punch Super Bells. Kind of doing okay. Could be better. And this is the pink yarrow. She's going to be great in that bed. Ooh. Oh, all the critters. Oh, they're so happy. Everybody's in the garden this morning. Things are doing pretty good over here. Sun's starting to come up. Here's my other red rose I really love. Oh, I kind of glossed over the fact that I removed this hibiscus. I'm sure you've noticed in the previous tours that it's been scraggly, looked like I had a fungus, wasn't blooming, just really pitiful. So I just cut it back. We'll see what she does. Might put on some new growth before winter. This one's blooming over on the other side. It also has insect damage and a little bit of a fungus, so not sure what's up with that this year. It's crazy. But this is where we put in our newer plants. This is a balloon flower. Just went in a couple weeks ago. Sheer neglect after being put in. And she's still flowering. Wonderful. And then that one is a, what is that? I'll put it on the screen. I know I'll remember what it is later. I finally went through here and hand pulled all this grass that came up, because if you're new here, We had I had a bag of bird seed, unopened, brand new, on this plant stand, and possums attacked it and was trying to eat it and spilled it all over the ground. So you can see there's still some remnants of seeds, but I figured it's easier to get them. I scooped up everything I could that was loose. Then I came through after they've germinated like this, obviously, in like sheets of grass. Then I've hand pulled a lot. There was a lot back here too, but this new fern is still doing good, which is awesome. And over here in this bed, look how cute this toothache plant is. Just going to town. So glad I finally grew this. Love it. You guys just hanging out by the dog? So the biggest news in the cottage garden is right here. The pumpkins. Okay, so I hadn't been out here for a week. Again, we had that good rain. Came out yesterday. I had these two pumpkins, two little white pumpkins. But then I also had squash bugs literally everywhere. It was like a heyday, I'm telling you. Not only were there like eggs in numerous places, there were babies that had hatched, and then there were like teenagers, and there were some adults. And initially I went through, we keep 7 dust. It's a chemical, very toxic insecticide. Will kill bees as well, so use sparingly. We have it for infestation sort of things. So I immediately went and got that and put it all over the pumpkin vines. It was really bad. Then I was working on some other chores in the garden, came back and decided it wasn't worth it to allow them to spread to other plants. Because when I was pruning, I cut the cucumber vine off of here because it used to be right here. And it was dying at the bottom but still fruiting at the top. My husband said most of the fruit he gotten off of it recently was bitter. And his cucumbers are producing out in the in-ground garden a ton now. So I went ahead and took it out yesterday. When I was doing that, I saw squash bugs over here. Just 1 or 2. And I think 1 on a tomato over here. So I was just like, not worth it. Just for pumpkins, for ornamental pumpkins, for fun, for fall decor. That's what I was growing them for. So these 2 that did make it, Hadley and I will probably just paint. But yeah. So I ended up just tearing the whole thing out. Glad I did. After I tore it out and hauled off the debris to our woods back there, which is where I put all my plant debris, I noticed all along the edge of this bed there were just squash bugs climbing up it. So that's why you see the powder everywhere. That's 7 to kill them. I put it on the remaining watermelon vines just in case. And we're going to have to open one of these watermelons soon because I told my husband they are a small variety. They've not grown beyond this size in the last couple weeks. So, oh look, here's a fuzzy caterpillar on my canna. Yeah, this vine is crazy. She is so crazy. Had to trim a lot of her out of this bed. She had grown like over and across the bed, and I never even noticed it because of the pumpkin vines. So yeah, that was crazy. You'll also see that I have 7 on a lot of things as a temporary, please don't let anything else get my plants. These are this guy's going to the bathroom. And a lot of people say if cats go to the bathroom in your beds to look at your plants, it doesn't mind. I do think it's gross, but they've never killed any of my plants. No, they'll kill seedlings just from trampling them. These tomatoes are fruiting, which is lovely. It's hard to see because they're getting so big. This one over here is as tall as the cattle panel trellis. And you can see I put 7 on everything because we had insect holes and damage in these 2 things. This is a medicinal herb. This, I don't know if this is the borage or what this is, but she's starting to put on some flowers. Oh, there's a frog. Just jumped out of the container here. Anyways, this tomato, I hadn't like wrapped it up, tied it up anymore because I ran out of twine. My husband said we have a ton more, just not where I thought it was. So that's going to be one of my next projects because I could really support this a lot better between this post and just other things. Grapevine growing on this. It's one of my next missions too, is to get it over this way now that the cucumber's gone. But you can see this steakhouse tomato. Yeah, steakhouse tomato. See how big it is? The cage ends right here. And she is that tall. Just kind of leaning this way. I know one of those last videos I showed you, they were all leaned over because we'd had a really heavy rain. But yeah, I'm not seeing any more weird growths on here. Like, see, here's an insect right there. Not a friendly one. One of the... Look at this. There's a worm. But that's not a tomato hornworm because those are green. See, it just gets to be really common this time of year. But since I had those monarch caterpillars in the garden, I've been leery to, like, I want to investigate what things are. If it could be a monarch caterpillar. And see, this one, I won't pull that off because it's brown. A tomato hornworm is the same color as the leaves. That's why they blend in so well. The one we did find was right over here. And it didn't have the horns, but it had every other sign to be a tomato hornworm, so that's weird. And it's so close to the tomatoes, they're just right there, so it made sense. But yeah, the gray looking praying mantis was over here as well. Wow, what is that? Is that tomato hornworm babies? Y'all, I'm going to be researching this because look at that. Let me get a better view. Or is that... Oh, see, it looks like it. Oh, that's gross. Hold on, trying to get you a good view. Yeah, see her horn? Oh, you can't see it because it's furry. I don't know what she's got all over her body, but she has a horn on this right end. I just noticed my dog scratching my watermelon, you little turd. Anyway, since we're out here so early, my husband's not gone to work yet, so I will ask him to remove that. I'm not sure what the white things are hanging off of it, but I know it's a tomato hornworm because they're called hornworms because they've got one or two little horns that stick out their head that are white or yellow, and their body is green. Anyways, this is why sometimes it's necessary to use a powerful insecticide. I told my husband I hadn't seen any sign of damage on the tomato plants. It's what I usually look for because the hornworms blend in so much. But see, now look, I just walked over here. I'm on this other side, and this is signs of a tomato hornworm. Look, stripped of its leaves. I bet you there's one over here. Let's see, because see right here, this one is stripped of its leaves. And they hang, they're the same color as the stem, and they hang off of the plant. But see, I just did this 7 yesterday. Maybe that got to it, but look here. Stripped leaves, stripped leaves. Really don't like those things. It's frustrating that God even allows garden pests. But as with anything in life, honestly, I always just remind myself, you can't have the light without the dark. It's just part of it. Part of life. Unfortunately. I mean, really can't say unfortunately, because without the bad, would you even notice the good, you know, enough to appreciate it. But anyways, definitely got some action over here. But since I've already done 7, which I just did it a few places over here as like a precautionary measure, I think this will be fine for now. This area looks so different with the vine gone. I really loved all the space it took up, but this last week of growth, I should have taken a picture before I pulled it out. I didn't even do that. I was just like in work mode, but it came all the way out to here. So there was this tiny little path, and it was growing, had an arm, took up all this space, and went all the way to there, which was like, wow, awesome, look how full, nice. But it was just, you know, full of bugs, so couldn't stay. Anyways, this peach drift rose has been flowering lately, which is lovely. She's just happier for sure being over here in kind of shade. I was going to show you this hibiscus from this side. Really been thinking a lot lately about just the time it takes to maintain a space, what is and isn't worth it. Ah, red bird on my bird feeder, and actually hanging out on the basket thing that's meant to catch the feed. Oh, took off running because of the cats. Oh, and there's a hummingbird on my feeder over there. Can you see her? Probably not. It's so funny, I'm talking about what isn't worth it in gardening, and then of course things I love show up. I do love gardening, but when it gets this hot outside, it's like you're just in disaster relief mode. It feels like it's hard to be out here and enjoy the time. Right now, when I came out this morning, again, like I said, it was just after dawn. It was 76 degrees, but it's really high humidity, so even that feels warm. There's no air movement, no breeze. I'm actively sweating right now, and it just feels like it shouldn't be. It's dawn, but you know, that's summer. Hi, babe. Anyway, my husband had come out to leave for work, and he killed the tomato hornworm for me. Whenever he came up, I was like, oh, we could just pull that one leaf off and just, you know, squash it. I would have done that, but I didn't think of it until he was there. So anyways, he took care of it. But yeah, I was just gonna say, I've been thinking a lot lately about the things that we kind of overcommit to in life. I know not everyone is like me. I know I'm especially hard on myself because I'm just like an overworker, overachiever, workaholic. Always have so many things going on, new ideas, so many different little streams of income. Because of course the goal for me is always to work less. So I get myself into a lot of things with that being the motivation. Anyways, then when times like this hit, where it's so hot you just can't even get outside, it just makes me think, like, do I even need to be growing this much stuff? I actually sat on my deck yesterday after watering plants. It was so hot, and I thought maybe next year I should invest in in-ground irrigation, like paying someone to actually come and put it in and do it right, because think of what that would save me. But that's so uncommon here. You know, I lived in Phoenix for like 22, 23 years before moving back home to Arkansas. And like everybody had drip irrigation in their yard. It's all new. It was the town I lived in. Like everything was less than, I don't know, 15 years old. So all the homes had that. But it's not common here, especially not in the country. The hummingbirds are all flying around, making their little noises. Anyway, so seriously debating that next year, thinking of all the time it would save me. I mean, because I've told you guys before, it takes me an hour and a half to water everything. And right now the plants would love it if I did that every day, but I'm doing it every other day to save myself time. So that's 4 days a week. Probably 3 realistically, because I slack quite often. So 4.5 hours a week just spent on watering. I hope you enjoyed this week's garden tour. Again, sorry for not doing one last week. But now you see everything that's going on, and it's been hot, and it's hot right now. So I was looking at the weather, the weather app with their predictions for weather 30, 45 days out. And of course, how true can that be? But still, I look at it, and it's looking like for us, even into mid-September, that we're still gonna, like, our high will still be 89, 90, which is, it's hot, but this heat wave we've been through, it's been being 95, 96, 97, which is torturous. So 90 is, kind of welcome to that, but it just reminded me that fall's really not that close yet, unfortunately. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Be blessed where you are.